and breathe, Oxford fans. Whew, and breathe. And hello, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for another review of another Oxford United game. Today, the Yellows were away at Sunderland. So there were a few changes to Oxford United's starting lineup, and we expected that would be the case. Eastwood came back in goal because Truman's loan expired and he went back. Thank you, Connell Truman. Long, after being centre-back last week, went to left-back this week. God, what a great versatile player it is to have Sam Long. Plays anywhere. Elliot Moore comes back into centre-back alongside Luke McNally. And rather unluckily, Jamie Hansen, I don't think I'd ever say that before, was relegated to the bench, or I'm not even sure if he was on the bench. And Anthony Ford came back into right-back. You had Kane, you had Brannigan, you had Henry in midfield, you had White and Holland wide, and the returning Matty Taylor up top. So a strong Oxford lineup. It just remained to be seen how much energy those guys that were out with COVID would have in the legs, whether they would last 90 minutes. But it is also a depleted Sunderland side, and they're missing some key players, particularly in defence and at fullback. And thank you to Sunderland Top Dogs podcast for having me on and talking about the game. And they mentioned how they were playing three at the back mainly because of injuries, and it was an area where Oxford could possibly exploit them down the flanks. Well, after a very even first half, marginally, maybe, Oxford United edged it. The second half was completely Sunderland. It was the siege of the Alamo, if you like. But Oxford United survived it somehow, and we came away with a very valuable point. It finished Sunderland 1, Oxford United 1. And considering that we never, ever beat Sunderland, you have to say that is a really good point. But first half, Sunderland started the stronger side. Oxford weirdly sloppy. We don't normally start games poorly, but we did start this one poorly. And Sunderland were well on top, and they scored the first goal pretty early on, 7th minute. Oxford just lost the ball in midfield, and Sunderland just drove through us. Really, there were just no Oxford players there. It was so easy. It went out to Giacu. Probably saying that wrong. I'm so sorry if I do. And he absolutely skins Anthony Ford. It was a very easy goal. Very good finish. But Oxford 1-0 down, and it looked all too easy at this point. And that was the way it was for about the first 20 minutes. And it took Oxford that long to finally wake up and start playing some football. And the way we got back into the game was how we thought at the start of the game, was down the wings, getting the ball wide to White and Holland. They caused lots of trouble. They had lots of space. And whenever Oxford moved the ball quickly and got it out to the flanks, they looked very, very dangerous. We had lots of possession. We had lots of tactics in good areas, but we just didn't really create any shots. Hoffman didn't really have a save to make. We had some corners, but we know we rarely threatened from them. And it was just a matter of, we had the momentum. Could we get a goal? Could we get a goal to go in level at half-time? And yes, we did. We did get the equaliser. There's controversy about it. Let's try and clear it up. But let's talk about the goal first. Nathan Holland wins the ball high up. A Sunderland player trying to shepherd the ball out and then goes down looking for the foul. Referee doesn't give the foul, allows Nathan Holland to run right to the byline, very close to the goal. He just squares it back to Taylor, and Taylor just really shovels it into the empty part of the goal. Tidy finish from him. He's in great form and great to have him back. And Oxford did get that equaliser that I feel at that time their play did deserve. Now, Sunderland fans will go crazy thinking that should have been a foul. Having watched it back a couple of times, Oxford United channel hat on here. I think the player dives. I don't think Holland makes any contact with him. I think he goes down far too easily. He could have just literally cleared it out for a corner or anything. He tries to con the referee, and the referee stood up for it. But there are other instances where the referee didn't do a good job, and we'll talk about all them. I mean, in the first half, Brannigan could have had a penalty at the start of the game. There were penalty shouts against Oxford as well, namely Brannigan handball. There was a time Taylor and the Sunderland centre-back had a little coming together, and it was very, very tetchy, very contentious, and you sense the crowd getting very annoyed with every refereeing decision that went against them and Sunderland players as well. But that being said, I was very encouraged at half-time, thinking Oxford got a good chance of going on to win this game. It was 1-1. Second half, man. I don't know how we came away with a point. I do not know how we got a point in this one. Sunderland just laid siege to us. hit the woodwork twice, had countless chances, countless pressure. Oxford barely laid a glove on them in this second half. They got really tired, really leggy. And somehow we came through it by a bit of poor finishing and decision-making, some good defending at times and some good saves. But from an offensive point of view, it was only a Dan Adji shot that tested Hoffman in the second half. Apart from that, Oxford were completely on the back foot, and we just couldn't get into the game. We couldn't get our foot on the ball, and we just couldn't get the wide players into it at all. Like, all the joy we had in the first half was completely nullified. And you've got to say fair play to Sunderland on that. They were great in the second half and really should have won the game. Midfield three of like Winchester, Pritchard, Neal, and then up front Stewart and Broadhead, a constant threat. It felt like a matter of time before Sunderland would get into it. Bit of slack play from Oxford, nearly gifted them the goal when McNally just tried to let the ball run through to Eastwood, and it wasn't able to, and the ball Sunderland got the ball, played it back out to Stewart. He hit the bar. The rebound came to Winchester. He curled it just wide. There was a header from Stewart, which luckily went straight to Eastwood. And then later on, I think it was Stewart again, and Eastwood produced a great save to tip it onto the crossbar. But countless times they were getting in down the sides. Oxford had to weather it, and they did. I'm just going to give a credit to Vaught Brannigan, tireless throughout the game. Great effort he put in there. I think the defence did a really good job. They got really leggy. I think that McNally makes some mistakes at times. I thought generally he was pretty good. I thought Anthony Ford got a lot better as the game went on. He wasn't great at the start, but he did play well at the end. Longy, superb, playing in at left back. So from a defensive point of view, a lot to be encouraged for Oxford. And we will just say, I don't remember a second half where Oxford have been that bad recently and been pinned in. So definitely got away with one a little bit there. It'd be interesting to see how the players recover to go into the next Doncaster game. But obviously Doncaster being a side down the bottom, you would expect Oxford to be a lot more in control of this one than not. Not much more to say about this one. A point against Sunderland is normally pretty good for us, but does leave us just outside the playoffs on 18 points. Sunderland up to 4th place themselves. And let me know what you think about the game. Sunderland fans, let me know what you think about the referee. Let me know what you think about your team. Let me know what you think about Streaky Johnson. And let me know what you think about Oxford's amateur dramatic time-wasting routine, which we saw into effect not all the way through the second half, but certainly towards the end of the game. And Oxford fans, let me know if you went to the game. Well done. Long journey up there, and I hope your safe travels back. And let me know what you thought of the game. Let me know what you think of Oxford United going forward. But we'll take a point. We'll move on. Hit like, hit subscribe. That'll do it for this review. We'll be back with more videos next week. Thanks very much. See you soon.